We'll see if this is working. It says I'm live. Um, yeah. Hello, Michael. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this StreamYard out. We're going to give it a go. Hello, Lincoln. We'll give them a few minutes to see who all shows up. We're going to give this StreamYard a try. We're going to pray good anyway. Hello, David, Mike Wolf, Rhonda. Hello, John Francis. We're going to give it just a couple minutes to let this thing kick in. Now you, let's see. All right. Like I say, we'll give it just a minute. We'll get her kicked off here. I'm doing my little seminar on the United States mints. Give you a little bit of background information on it and what everything going. The United States Mint is a unit of the Department of Treasury responsible for producing coinage for the United States to conduct its trade and commerce, as well as controlling the movement of bullion. The U.S. Mint does not produce paper money. That responsibility belongs to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. There are currently 4 active coin-producing mints. That is the Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point, New York. There's also the gold depository at Fort Knox, but it does not produce any coins. That's the present operating facilities. The first authorization for the establishment of a mint in the United States was in a resolution of the Congress of Confederation of February 21st, 1782. And the first general circulation coin of the United States was the Fugo cent. It was produced in 1787 based on the Continental dollar. The current United States Mint was created by Congress with the Coinage Act of 1792 and originally placed within the Department of State for terms of the Coinage Act. The first mint building was in Philadelphia, then the capital of the United States. It was the first building of the Republic raised under the Constitution. Today, the Mint headquarters is a non-producing facility here in Washington, D.C. As we said before, it operates Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point, New York, bullion depository at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Official Mint branches were once also located in Carson City, Nevada, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dahlonega, Georgia, New Orleans, Louisiana, and even in Manila in the Philippines. Um, Originally part of the Department of State, the Mint was made an independent agency in 1799. It converted precious metals into standard coin for anyone's account with no seniority charge beyond the refining cost. Under the Coinage Act of 1873, the Mint became part of the Department of Treasury and was placed under the auspices of the Treasurer of the United States. Now, the legal tender coins of today are minted solely for the Treasury's account. Um, the first director of the Mint was renowned scientist David Rittenhouse from 1792 to 1795. The position most recent was held most recently by Edmund C. Moy till his resignation effective January 9th, 2011. The position was left vacant until April of 2018. It was filled by David J. Ryder. All right, a little more history. Henry Vogt was the first superintendent and chief coiner, and is credited with some of the first U.S. coin designs. Another important position at the Mint is that of chief engraver. It's been held by such men as Frank Gasparo. I'm going to butcher some names. William Barber, Charles E. Barber, James B. Longacre, and Christian Gobrich. Another one butchered. The Mint has several branch facilities, operates several branch facilities throughout the United States since the Philadelphia Mint opened in 1792 in a building known as the Ye Old Mint. Actually found a photograph online. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And let's see, opening branch with the opening of the branches came the need for Mintmarks as an identifying feature on the coin to show where it was made. The first of the branch mints was Charlotte, North Carolina in 1838 to 1861, Dahlonega, Georgia, 1838 to 1861, and New Orleans, Louisiana, 1838 to 1909. Both the Charlotte, which used the C mint mark, and Dahlonega, which used the D mint mark, were open to facilitate the conversion of local gold deposits into coinage, and they only minted gold coins. Civil War closed both these facilities permanently. The New Orleans Mint, which was an O mint mark, closed at the beginning of the Civil War and did not reopen until the end of Reconstruction in 1879. During the two stints as a minting facility, it produced both gold and silver coinage in 11 denominations, though only 10 were ever minted there at any one time. In 1851, the silver 3-cent pieces, half dimes, quarters, half dollars, gold dollars, quarter eagles, half eagles, eagles, and double eagles. A new branch facility opened in Carson City, Nevada in 1870. Operated until 1893 with a 3-year hiatus from 1886 to 1888. Like Charlotte and Dahlonega branches, the Carson City CC Mintmark was open to take advantage of local precious metal deposits. In that case, it was silver, um, but it produced both gold and silver coinage. Um, but no base metal coins. Now, another interesting fact, in 1911, the Mint had a female acting director named Margaret Kelly. At that point, she was the highest paid woman on the government's payroll. She stated that women were paid equally within the Bureau. Like I say, that might be something for you trivia fans. You know, Margaret Kelly was the female mint director and also the highest paid woman at that time. Might be something to remember. A branch of the U.S. Mint in Manila was established in 1920 in the Philippines. It then was a U.S. territory. It minted Philippine coins. And its mint mark was the M for Manila. There was also one other branch that was commissioned in 1864 in, I must say, the Dow, Oregon. That's spelled Dalles. It was commissioned in 1864. Construction was halted in 1870. The facility never produced any coins, but the building still stands. So there was actually a mint that never worked. Who knew? Now, on the four present mints, the mint's largest facility is the Philadelphia Mint. The current building was opened in 1969. It was the fourth Philadelphia Mint. And coins minted in Philadelphia, and more, with the exceptions of the Susan B. Anthony dollar and Jefferson nickel, up until recently, had no mint mark. In 1980, the P mint mark was added to all U.S. coinage except the cent. Until 1968, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for nearly all the official proof coinage. Philadelphia is also the site of master die production for U.S. coinage, and engraving design departments of the Mint are also located there. Denver Mint began in 1863 as an assay office, 5 years after gold was discovered in the area. By the turn of the century, it was bringing in over 5 million in annual gold and silver deposits. In 1906, the mint was opened as the new Denver branch. So it was operating for several years before it actually became a mint. San Francisco opened in 1854 to serve the gold fields of California. It uses the S mint mark. Now, we all know Denver uses the D mint mark as well as Dahlonega, but both were never open at the same time. So there's no need for confusion between, hey, whose mint mark is that neat? San Francisco uses the S mint mark. Opened in 1854 and moved to a new facility in 1874 which was one of the few that survived the Great Earthquake in 1906. It served till 1937 when the present day facility opened. Present day one closed in 1955, reopened a decade later during the coin shortage of the mid 60s. In 1968, it took over most proof coinage production from Philadelphia, and since 1975 has been solely for proof coinage only. The exception of the Susan B. Anthony dollar and a portion of mintage of cents in the early 1980s. It says, although these are indistinguishable from those minted in Philadelphia. Okay. West Point is the newest minting facility, gaining official status as a branch mint in 1988. Its predecessor, the West Point Bullion Depository, was opened in 1937, and cents were produced there from 73 to 86. Along with these were identical to the ones produced in Philadelphia. West Point has struck a great deal of commemorative and proof coinage bearing the W mint mark for West Point. West Point produced clad dimes, but for collectors, not for circulation. West Point facility is still used for storage of part of the United States gold bullion reserves, and West Point is now the United States production facility for gold, silver, platinum, and palladium American Eagle coins. Are all done at the West Point Mint. Fort Knox, while not a coin producing facility, the U.S. Bullion Depository of Fort Knox, Kentucky, is another facility of the Mint. Its primary purpose is for storage of the U.S. and other countries' gold and silver bullion reserves. And we've got on Mintmarks now. We've kind of discussed the mints. Mintmarks, with the exception of a brief period in 1838 and 1839, all coins minted at U.S. branch mints prior to the 1908 displayed the branch mint marks on the reverse. Larger denominations of gold and silver coins were labeled with Dahlonega, Charlotte, and New Orleans mint marks, D, C, and O respectively, on the obverse or front side, just above the dates. In those 2 years, Carson City, which served as the U.S. branch mint from 1870. Oh, in those 2 years, okay. The Carson City, which served the U.S. Mint from 1870 to 1893, produced coins with the CC mint mark. Manila only produced overseas U.S. Mint, which was territory and Commonwealth coinage used the M mint mark from 1920 to 1941. Between 1965 and 1967, as the Mint labored to replace the silver coinage with base metal coins, mint marks were temporarily dispensed with, including on the penny and nickel, in order to discourage hoarding of coins by numismatists. Mint marks were moved to the obverse of the nickel, dime, quarter, and half dollar in 1968, and have appeared on the obverse of the dollar coin since its reintroduction in 1971. The penny, unlike all other coins, which had their mint marks on the reverse until 1964, the Lincoln cent always had its mint mark on the obverse or front, below the date to the right of Lincoln's bust since its 1909 introduction. The nickel, the mint mark, was located near the rim on the obverse, clockwise from the date from 1968 to 2005, to the right of Thomas Jefferson's bust. The redesigned obverse, the nickel, which appeared starting in 2006, has its mint mark below the date on the lower right. Many earlier nickels from 1938 to 64 are still in circulation, and their mint marks can be found on the verse to the right of the Monticello, with the exception of 1942 to 1945 war nickels, which is located above the dome on the Monticello. The dime, the mint mark, is above the date on the verse to the right of Franklin D. Roosevelt's bust. The $quarter, the mint mark, is to the right of George Washington's bust. These are your newer coins. $half, the mint mark, is below the center of John F. Kennedy's bust, above the date. Eisenhower dollar, the mint mark, is below the center of Dwight D. Eisenhower's bust, above the date. Susan B. Anthony, 1979 to 1981, and 1999, the mint mark is found to the left of Susan B. Anthony's bust. Sacagawea, 2000 to present, for coins minted from 2000 to 2008, the mint mark is just below the date. For coins minted from 2009 to 2016, the date, mint mark, and plurus urum were moved to the edge of the coin. The presidential dollars, the mint mark and date, are found on the edge of the coin. American Innovation dollar, the mint mark and date are found on the edge of the coin. Now, it goes on to talk about the war nickels. Due to the shortage of nickel during World War II, the composition of the 5-cent coin was changed to include silver. This changed the nickels minted in Philadelphia, which featured no mint mark until then, displayed the P in the field above the dome of Monticello. Nickels from San Francisco were minted the same fashion. Nimber nickels reflected the change in 1943. The new mint mark continued until 1946, when it returned to its pre-war composition. The P mint mark discontinued after the war, reappeared in 1979 on the Anthony dollar. By 1982, it appeared on every other issue except the cent, with the exception of the 2017 Lincoln cent, still bears no P mint mark. Circulating cents struck in 1980s at San Francisco accept proofs, and West Points also bear no mint mark, as the facilities were used to supplement Philadelphia's production. Given the limited numbers produced at each facility, they may have been hoarded as collectibles. And that's about what I have on mints and mint marks. Like I say, I'm going to try to keep it short and up to about a half hour, which I did pretty good. Thank you, Rivendell. Like I say, we just try to have a little fun with it, provide you a little information. I didn't even know about that mint in Oregon until I did the research on this. So there's plenty there to learn for everybody. Just either go to Wikipedia or Google and find out. You know, everybody, nobody's too old to learn. Even this dog can learn new tricks. Or wolf dog, same difference. I hope you all had a great time. case y'all missed the clue, we got it right here. We'll make it easy. All right. And I did kind of say I was going to do a little giveaway, I believe. So let's see what we got here. All right. Let me see if I can't flick over here to a different camera and show what I'm going to give away. Looks like we got a V-nickel. Hey, the good part of Liberty still showing. Oh, look at that date. How would you believe that? How about that for a giveaway? And we're going. I mentioned it in the little seminar. I need the year and the name of the female director of the Mint. First one with the answer. All right, and we can go. It looks like Paula is our winner. Congratulations, Miss Paula. I think I still have your address, so we're going to get this 1909 V-nickel out. I say it's a fairly decent one. So congratulations, Paula. And y'all have a great day. And don't forget, coming up, we've got Michael Kittle, Rare Coins, at 10 p.m. Eastern. Interesting facts about classic commemoratives. And it also shows that Michael is going to have a giveaway. I'm not going to promise it for him. He'll let you know when you get over there. So y'all tune in to Michael Kittle and tune in to all of them and pick up your clues. I'm sure there's going to be something nice going on. Y'all have yourself a great evening.